That spring day, my arm hurt. 6 months ago, while on a business trip to New York, I had a bad fall. Fracture of the wrist joint, cast, in which I worked for the entire 2 months of my business trip. The fracture healed perfectly, did not hurt, did not bother, and here you are. Any movement of the thumb is a painful click. It is worth stretching sleepily, a hellish pain. It has become impossible to print text on the touchscreen of the phone. And so for 2 weeks. And on that damn day, I woke up in pain and realized that my stupidity was great. And there was nowhere to retreat. I'll have to go to the surgeon. Being a bit hungover, I left the car in the parking lot and took the bus. I took the ticket and looked at the office number. Yeah, 507th, so it's the 5th floor. I took the elevator up. The doors opening on the 5th floor provided my view with 2 nailed boards blocking the exit. After swearing at the stupid workers, I crawled under the boards and looked around. The door opposite is broken. The windows are gaping with empty frames. The wind is blowing leaves on the floor, although it's spring outside. Been a long time since I've been to this clinic, for 10 years, if not more. The fracture was treated in New York. It was more fun here in the harsh 90s. Apparently, the repair took place using nanotechnology. Although maybe I should go to another floor? No, it says 5 forward. On the lying door, a rat ran across the floor, and I walked disgustedly to the elevator. Maybe fuck it, I thought. This free medicine of yours? Where the elevator call button should have been, a thick layer of putty was applied. To hell with it, I decided. I would walk down. First, I would look for a surgeon, and then immediately to the chief physician. Such lawlessness in a medical institution is incomprehensible to the mind. The hallway smelled of rotten meat, dead leaves, and rotten mattresses, and not a single person. Some offices were open, others were tightly shut. So much for free medicine. They were rolling. Restraining my retching, I muttered, "Yes, there's clearly something wrong here." I asked again, "Is there anyone in 507? Silence. It is logical. I wouldn't talk too much about such sores either. Intending to abuse the lazy doctor, I yanked the door and froze. A man in a white suit was swinging on a rope, his eyes bulging merrily and his tongue sticking out. Foster Gray, the badge read. My ticket had the same name on it. Wow, my voice gave a rooster out of fear and anger. What the hell is this? We need to find at least someone to help those unfortunate people. Remove the doctor, call the police. Yes, at least do something. Slamming the door behind me, I realized that I was not going anywhere alone. I started having something close to stupor and hysteria at the same time. I looked at the crowd of cripples once more, and from my side, from the edge, I saw a beautiful brunette in a dark red dress, with kind eyes. It looked whole, and that's a plus. Plop down next to her. Listen, girl, what's your name? My voice was shaking. Lisa. My name is Alex. And then I burst out. Lisa, I'm gonna go crazy. I need at least one normal person, a doctor there or a nurse, or, at the very least, fucking cleaner, grumpy, plump, who knows everything in the world, and so that she doesn't hold her guts and hang in a noose from the ceiling. I'm afraid. Come with me. I can't. My legs can't walk. I got on the bus in the morning, but now they don't go. And besides, she nodded at the queue, our doctors will be here soon. Yes, until they come, everyone will rest here. I calmed down and leaned against the wall. Lisa, do you smoke? I smoke. Deciding that cigarettes wouldn't make the situation any worse, I took out a pack and handed it to her. Q perked up. Young man, can I? And me. I wouldn't mind either. After passing through the hands, the empty pack flew into the corner. Yes, something has to be decided, I thought, inhaling the bitter smoke. 2 healthy men in medical coats came around the corner, carrying catalogs and knives. Q tiredly and somehow fatally continued to pull cigarettes. Alex, the girl nervously put out her cigarette butt. I'm scared. I don't want to see this. What's to be afraid of? Now they will help everyone, and then they will tell us a way out. I began to calm her down and stop. The one-eyed bearded man, who was first in line, undressed and lay down on the gurney. Eyes closed, hands at his side. And the doctors busily began to open it. The chest has already been opened, the hands are sorting the insides into basin. And I understood. It's not just doctor. These are pathologists, insane pathologists dissecting living people. I whispered, Lisa, Alechka, let's get out of here before it's too late. I can't. I'm going there. He pointed at the maniac. Stay with me, you're alive. You won't be touched. But I'm scared. It was her "you're alive" that finally made me angry. Your mother, growling. I hoisted the girl onto my shoulder. Her back was immediately stained with something sticky, seeping through the red dress on her chest. Trying not to think what it was, I rushed down the corridor away from this hell. The front door was closed. That's it. We've arrived. There was a creak, and a 2-meter-tall man in a suit, covered with fur, with horns and a piglet instead of a nose, looked out from the nearest office. An interesting costume, I thought distantly. Hey, horned one. The devil looked around. Help me open the door. I'll open it for you. You don't belong here, but leave the girl. Stop joking or I'll cross you. I don't know why I remembered that phrase. Either he reread the books or he watched the movies, but the horned one shrugged and tore off the barn lock with one hand. And leave the girl, you'll regret it. It's time for her to go to the cauldron. Lisa, leave it. Leave me alone, I have nowhere to go. 2 more people were coming up the stairs. Realizing that this was not a fucking cosplay, I shat myself in the most natural way, and the monster from the stairs said, We won't touch you, but leave Lisa. Fuck you under the collar. I growled angrily and rushed back. Pathologists were butchering a woman with a child, and a hanged man in a white coat was whining nearby. Guys, I actually need to be out of turn. I'm a medical worker. When I saw him just walking around with a rope around his neck, I almost peed in my pants again. Running into the 507th, I rushed to the open window. And there, on the street, at Liberty, autumn was ending, and the smell of decay was heard. I didn't know what it smelled like before. So the decay smells of rotten foliage, earth, and alcohol. And a slight smell of rotten. Crows were sitting on the mangy trees. And where did the spring that pleased me just an hour ago go? Alex, don't help me. Lisa's eyes were full of fear and tears. She wasn't hysterical, as if it wasn't up to it. I've already opened the window. Stop. Have I heard that the window will break when falling and the body will fall on sharp fragments? And do they, the fall and debris, increase in proportion to the speed? And this slight acceleration could be compensated by a large mass capable of reducing the speed by inertia. Well, like pulling something big on the ground right away. For example, to do this, you can, if desired, use the weight difference by tying the girl to yourself. But this is on the verge of life and death, or whatever it sounds like. I can only assume that the fall will end well if I choose the right time. But let's get started. Legs with a slippery, bloody trail from the dead, and left a half-dead white man with black wings like a cat. They'll deal with the devils themselves. I'm not afraid of them. I took out the belt, tied it to the girl, and myself perched on the window. The very idea of jumping from a height into the unknown was terribly unpleasant to me, but I decided to hold the girl in my arms and jump first, so we wouldn't fall so painfully. Anyway, all our principles would be wrong in this world until they soared to heaven. So I tied the girl to me, lifted her up, and, without thinking about the consequences, jumped down. Fall turned into a strange hope and a feeling that strong but gentle hands were holding me. Seemed like an angel flew up to us and saved us from falling. Self-sacrifice is the highest manifestation of love. I heard a kind voice that enveloped everything in silence, and consciousness went out. I woke up in the hospital. I had an oilcloth on my chest, and there were many bandages and plaster. I was alive. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw Sam in the bed next to me. Turned out that she was in a coma but was still alive. 2 weeks have passed. I could move on crutches. Sam came to life, and a month later she came to my room in a wheelchair. Hugging each other, we cried with happiness and relief. My friends brought me a laptop, and I read about the accident. A drunk truck driver smeared our minibus on the asphalt. Of the 9 passengers, only 2 survived. Me and Sam. Both drivers were killed. I was scrolling through photos from the scene and recognized the people sitting in that queue. The driver was the culprit of the accident, and the woman died on the spot. As it turned out, Kodiakov hanged himself that morning from unhappy love, but not in his office, but at home.